I'm tryna give me a bag. I'm tryna give me a bag. I'm tryna give me a bag. I'm tryna give me a bag.
What's up? You are now listening to FY Fly the podcast, and I'm your host, Hassan Thomas, along with Remy, and we are here to share tools on how millennials can budget, save, invest, and understand student debt and credit to achieve financial freedom. If you're a high school student, college student, or someone who's interested in gaining more financial insight, this podcast is for you.
I'm tryna give me a bag. I'm tryna give me a bag. I'm tryna give me a bag. I'm tryna.
What's up, my fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FY Fly podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did, and the man that can, baby. And today, we are chopping it up with entrepreneur, philanthropist, and three-time author, the Andre Hatchett, baby. How you doing, my man?
Great, big time. How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. Happy to have you here.
Thank you. Honored to be here, man. Ready to rock and roll, and congratulations on the podcast.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. You know, we got season 3 back rocking, and here on FY Fly, we like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff, baby. So let's start off with all these different businesses you own, man. So we have the Mobile Notary Business, real estate, Buy Black NYC. So you have a lot of motion, but the key thing to point out there is all the businesses are within the same realm, you know, digital e-commerce, real estate, in that area. So can you like touch on the importance of picking one lane and then branching off compared to, you know, trying willy-nilly and just trying 1,000 different things?
Great point. So here's the thing. When you have businesses that are in different arenas, it takes different parts of your brain to run those businesses. And
yeah,
some people do. I don't have all that brain power. I just don't have it. And you have to know what you have and what you don't have. And a lot of times people try it, even though all the books say don't do too many things at one time, don't start too many things at one time. People try to defy it. Us entrepreneurs try to defy it. And more times than not, people just stop. And when they stop, they stop everything because they burnt out on trying to extend themselves too far. So for me, it's mandatory that when I'm launching something, it's usually in a similar wheelhouse, because otherwise it might just be too much for me to handle. The one caveat might be, or the one or two caveats might be, is if I have staff to immediately hop in and take it over, or take the majority.
Delegation, okay.
Immediately. And or I'm a silent investor where I'm just putting up money and they're doing the work. But yeah, I do keep things in a similar warehouse because it works.
Okay, so what about like take it back to before, you know, the mobile notary business and before you were really up and going. Like let's take it back to before then and think about, you know, all the other different things that you probably tried before you really found your niche. So like where does that balance come in from trying different things, but then once you find one thing, you know, rocking out with it? Like, so where does that balance come from? If that makes sense.
It makes total sense. It's a great point. So here's the thing. It's how much money do you have?
Okay. That's a very important factor.
Along my journey, I was still in real estate in New York City, and I had some deals die, and I was like, I just was distraught. Wow, this is 10 years ago. About 9-10 years ago. I just was distraught because I did all the heavy lifting and I did all the hard work, and these things still didn't work out. And I was like, man, what am I doing here? Let me go back to focusing on my nice, steady Eddie business, see how far I can grow that, because that I mastered. That I literally am formed where I can get paid every day from my notary business. Not sexy, not as much pay as real estate can be, but I know it works. So for me, I got to follow the money. I know other people might not, but I got to follow the money, and that allowed me to just focus more on what works opposed to what I might, air quotes, want to do.
And I agree with you 100%. And that's why I'm still, you know, myself, you know, working different 9-to-5 jobs until I can fully, you know, until my business fully funds my lifestyle and until my business is fully profitable. You know what I mean? I don't want to be one of those, like a lot of, even minorities, not just black people, but like minorities, we feel like we have to go through the struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to struggle. And if we don't do it, then it really doesn't count. You know what I'm saying? So can you like touch on that mindset? Like, because that's why I agree with you. Like work that 9-to-5 job, do your side hustle and work it until your business blows up, and then continue to, you know, run with your business. So can you touch on that, like that mindset?
Yeah, well, we're in a crazy area where people shame people for having 9 to 5 jobs. I never thought I would see this in my life, where people publicly talk down who go to work every day. I was like, this is insane. Now,
I mean, we live in a crazy world, man. Russell Wilson getting talked about for being a good father.
it look happy to me. Like, I can sign up for that. People are freaking wild. Because so
big face.
So my thing is, do what you got to do to get where you got to get. For some people, they might say, "Well, I don't want to do convention 9 to 5." All right, well then do Uber. Like there are I'm just not with telling people that it's okay for them to be broke for long stretch and time periods and not be able to pay their bills and not be able to cover their expenses and not be able to take care of the. I just don't rock with that. So if it's 9 to 5, it's 9 to 5. I don't think you have to just jump completely off the limb in order to go after your goals. Do what works for you. And the problem, and I think it probably hits men more than women, is we allow society to dictate what we're going to do too much. And the internet, when people just lie and they say things, that there are a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, who might be public figures, who have jobs, who don't say they have jobs because they don't want to kill the illusion. Like, it's wild stuff.
Yeah.
So do what you got to do. Now, you might need to have a 9 to 5 to be able to pay your bills on time, to be able to have an income history for you to qualify for a mortgage on a real estate transaction, which can set you free from ever having to have a job again. So you having a job might be able to set you free, opposed to if you quit, you might not. It will take you longer to get free. What's better?
Literally.
Do what you got to do to free yourself. Black out everybody, black out everything, and see what's going to be your correct path. So yes, work 100%. Something. Something. Have income coming in, fam. Like don't. I had just had flashbacks of brokenness, and and it scars you. Like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Have money coming in.
100%, man. And even speaking of that, I know you in this entrepreneurship game, you've made a lot of friends, and you guys do a lot of great things together and run a lot of business plays together. So can you talk about the power of group economics, and then like how can our young folks listening begin to start pulling their money together to invest in the businesses and invest into real estate and different things of that nature?
Yeah, so one of the best ways, I do have a phenomenal group of friends. I look up sometimes like, damn, I'm interviewing people on my YouTube channel for the month of May, and I'm calling it Millionaire. It was Startup Millionaire Week, but now it's Millionaire Month, where I'm interviewing people who have a net worth, not necessarily cash on hand, but a net worth combined of $1 million plus. And I've been able to interview everyone who I know so far. So I know a lot of millionaires. That's pretty cool. So here's the deal. When networking, when doing group ventures and meeting people who are leveling up, you might have to grow with those people, because people who are on a certain level, unless you're there, they might not bring you into their circle. So you might have to start off with thousandaires or hundredaires, and you guys grow together.
Sure.
A lot of people who I know who you might see me with, and we're all might be popping now, a lot of us came up together. A lot of us have known each other for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. So build, work with the willing. As long as they're ethical, credible people, work with the willing. And about 4 or so years ago, my man Charles Oglesby started an investment group, and we bought properties in Detroit. Like, you should have got more of those things. Like, we got properties like 10 grand, 12 grand, 20 grand, and upwards. And that's the group. That's a structured play. He set it up. So he's the fund manager, and we invested XYZ dollars. And here it is. Detroit's up, properties up. We're winning. So work with the willing, but the people who you want to work with, you might not be able to work with them. So work with the people who might be at or around your level, and you guys grow together.
Okay, so how do you actually get into those rooms of other like-minded individuals? Because I feel like that's a lot of problem for the people that are listening and want to get in, like people who, may have not went to college or may have not, because I feel like college is a really great networking, network building, activity, not activity, but place. But like for those people who don't have necessary access to those rooms, what are some ways to start, gaining access?
Start a podcast. That, that's
Yep.
probably the best
Great
way to
way.
meet people. It's probably one of the best ways to meet people for a very low startup cost.
I can attest. I can attest to
Because
that.
people will talk to you who they wouldn't talk to, who you couldn't talk to ordinarily, and maybe who you couldn't even pay to
Yes.
talk to you. The people who just don't talk to people on the phone, even for money. So, but with your podcast, they'll
Yeah.
talk to you. So, start a
That
podcast.
value exchange. I actually put that into my
Oh,
book.
that's the,
Value
it,
exchange.
it, 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 as popular as podcasts are becoming, it's still not that popular, fam. So, everyone has one.
Hmm.
Everyone does not have one. So, start that. That's a great way to talk to people and for people to know who you are, to gain credibility.
Yo, are you ready to hit your next level? Do you want to increase your drive, destiny, and dollars? Well, if so, check out my new book, From College to COVID, 24 Lessons Learned During the Lockdown, where I've compiled 5 of the biggest lessons I learned going from college to COVID to starting my financial literacy empire, FYFly, plus 19 lessons from your favorite entrepreneurs, entertainers, and athletes that have been featured on our show. There's literally something for everyone. So purchase your copy today at fyfly.com/from college to COVID. Let's go. No, that's great. That's great because when I found, those like-minded individuals, I really felt like my life
Mm.
changed. You know what I mean? Especially coming from college and being surrounded by like my regular group of
Yeah.
friends and then graduating, during COVID and all these different things. So I'm, attempting to level up in different areas and I'm trying to, connect with different people and it's not working. But then when I start that podcast, just as you said, now people are coming to talk to me because they want to expose their
Yeah.
brand. And it's also a major win for me because I'm getting somebody that I wouldn't be able to talk to without paying for or
Hmm.
without, those different things. So 100%.
Yep. Yep. Bingo. Podcasting works.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I like that. I like that, man. So let's go ahead and jump into this business or one of the businesses
Hmm.
that, led to all of these income streams coming in for you because of course I did a little research before we came and talked, but I need you to talk to me and my audience like we don't know Nathan about the notary business.
Okay.
We don't know nothing.
Got you.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So what is it? How do we get started? And, in your opinion, what makes this business so beneficial?
Got you. So step one is to become a licensed notary public through your state. So you're in
Mm-hmm.
the Virginia area. So for you, you would go to the Virginia Department of State website and you would look at
Uh-huh.
their process to become a notary public in that individual state. So every state has their own qualifications. Some of them have a test,
Mm-hmm.
some of them just paperwork and a fee, and you follow those steps. So once you are a licensed notary public, then
Okay.
you act on behalf of the state to act as an impartial witness to help them, let's say, legalize documents. So I
Mm-hmm.
passed the test. Let's say that I'm in New York or Georgia, which both have a test. I pass the test. I fill in my paperwork. I then get a notary commission. I then go to Staples
Notary
and I
commission.
pay the fee, let's say $40 or so, to get a stamp. I am now
Mm-hmm.
licensed and I have my stamp, I have my commission, and I have my stamp, so I can actually act. Bam, start signing documents. So people,
Okay.
so on the business side now, people pay us to witness them signing the documents. Us, we stamp, we sign, we notarize them, and then
Okay, so that's the work. That's the job
that's the
right there.
job.
We just witness it. Okay.
Yep. And the real money comes in when we travel to people's locations. So there are
Mm.
locations that have notaries, banks,
Mm-hmm.
some convenience stores. But for a lot of people, they either can't get to them, they don't notarize everything, so then they pay people like us to make their lives easier to
Okay.
go to the location and to notarize documents for them at their location. And then we charge a fee. Low end, $60, higher end, $250, $300, $400 and up per
Uh-huh.
appointment. That's how we make the real money.
Okay. Okay. So really y'all the plug. That's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
yeah. A lot of stuff can't done without being a notary public, and a notary public is a great way to make some real hardcore, honest money on a full time or part time basis, and it works so well because it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's just a needs
That's the
based
key.
business. You have to get Anthony Hardzog on there. He's a cleaning business, him and his wife. Shout out to our man Anthony. We always talk about what we do is not sexy. It's overlooked, but it's needed. People need
Mm.
their homes cleaned. People do it.
Big
I
facts.
don't like doing it. That's the one who comes. Now she's going to come every Tuesday. But people need this stuff. So, and my
Most
philosophy, as you
definitely.
know, is if you need money, do a needs-based business.
And I'm so glad you touched on that need based.
Yep.
Need based is huge, and that's what I'm looking at even for my business. How? Because of course, I have the financial literacy business. I'm going around high schools and colleges and teaching young folks how to manage their money, make money, and grow their money. But now I'm looking for something, for the business base. I need something need based, something
Yeah.
tangible that people can actually hold. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I definitely feel you 100% on coming up with need-based businesses. So, in your opinion, what makes a notary business stand out? Like, how do you market yourself better than the
Good
competition?
question. So most people they don't answer the phone, which is wild to me, right? So I had
Yeah, you don't answer money.
people don't like that. So
Yeah.
some people start and just don't promote like that. So which is fine. If you're someone's going to.
Say more business for you,
So
huh?
I had I was contracted by a law. So now I have what you call a signing service, right? That's where I do some jobs, but most jobs I just farm out to other people. So the law firm paid me $150. The job was in Hawaii. I then found
Mm,
someone in Hawaii to do the job for $50. So then I pocketed $100. The person who got back to
okay.
me, who I hired, was the person who responded back to me. I cut out the five people. One got back to me. They got the assignment. So step one is answer your phone. Step two,
Yeah.
have a logo. A lot of people don't have a logo. So if you have a logo
Hmm.
and you
Some brand recognition. Some gotta
it
have
helps,
some.
and people subconsciously take you more seriously. Sometimes you
Hmm.
take it more seriously. Step three, I don't have any data on this or proof of this, but have an email address that ends in a .com or a .net, not just the mobile notary Hawaii at gmail.com. Now, do
Mm,
people I know still make a lot of money with it at Gmail? Absolutely. But it can never hurt you to have what they call a professional business email address. So
big
let's stick
facts.
with that. Keep these three things. If you do these three things in this industry, you will stand out. Answer your phone, and if you can't get back to them, if you can't answer get back to people as soon as possible. Have a logo, have a business email address. These things will set you apart from 80% of the competition right there.
That man is dropping gym after gym on
Woo,
y'all
woo,
head,
woo.
man. Y'all better be tapping in. Come on
Tap
now.
in.
So let me think for the young folks listening, because I know my younger generation, we hear, okay, boom, you get a job for 150, you pay somebody $50 and you profit in 100.
Hmm.
Now, a lot of young folks only really care about the fast money, or it's coming fast, but we care about a lot of young folks only care about like the fast, big money. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? The big, huge profits, the 10x profits, as we talked about.
Hmm.
So kind of talk about that mindset shift that needs to happen for these young folks and for anybody who still thinks that way, like, oh man, $100 profit is not enough. But what if you do five in
There
a
you go.
day? Or you know what I'm saying? So like talk to us about that.
I know I know a bunch of millionaires. I don't know any overnight millionaires or any 6 month. Maybe a couple people hit it big in a year process.
Yeah.
But most people I know who have $1 million net worth, there was something involved in the process that was annoying, stagnant, boring. They felt like giving up, but they
Yeah.
didn't want to do it. What are you going to do? I mean, how many
Mm.
people do you know who made $1 million their first year in business? Even people who became a millionaire for real estate, they still have to get their credit up. They still have to have strong financials. They still have to make sure
Facts.
their taxes are paid on time. So even if people did get hot, like my man Henry got hot in real estate, he just found the stride and he ran with the stride. He still have to get himself to a
Mhm.
certain level to qualify for his first mortgage.
Got you.
So give yourself 3 to 5 years to get rich, and
Okay.
by rich, let's say that you in those 3 to 5 years you have a net worth. Let's just even say 500 to $1 million, right? Between cash on hand, Roth IRAs, real estate, business income, 3 to 5 years. Very few
Mhm.
things. If you go all in, now it takes all in. It's going to take that. But if you stick to
Most definitely.
some strategic plan for 3 to 5 years, are willing to do what you don't want to do, you can probably have that 10x money. It's just you want that 10x money right now, and it sounds good, and I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, I just haven't seen it work like that. So
Mhm.
give yourself more time. So not everyone has to be ultra rich and ultra successful and ultra go getter, but you do got to come
Yeah.
up with a plan especially if you're under 30, that you do not have to work, let's even say past 50.
Come on now.
And you can do it. Just simple stuff. Get it out the way. Then go do the fancy stuff later on.
Yeah. You look glowing, man. You
Thank
glowing,
you.
baby. Every day.
Do I look mad that I'm 40 and I have this time freedom and I have this real estate and I don't have to do notary jobs myself anymore? No.
Come on, man.
Just 3 to 5 years. That's like the magic number if you go all in, where your life can have real change. So fight the urge for overnight.
And people talk about 40. Like, I'll be on the phone for my 9-to-5 job I was telling you about. I'll be on the phone selling shoes to older folks, 60, 70 years old, and they telling me they need the shoes for work.
Wow.
Because they stand on their feet all day. And they 60 and 70 years old. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm thinking about that, I'm like, man, and like, especially for the young folks now, because we have the resources. Like, a lot of those people, back then, they may not have the resource. They may not have the education and those different things, but we have them.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't really no excuse at this point.
That could be a great motivator to anyone trying to rush. That would just sit right there, and not knocking anyone who has to work in their 60s and 70s. But if you ask them if they could go back and if they could spend less money going out, if they could have had an extra job in their 20s that they didn't want to do, right? That the cashier job, the Uber, something that they might think that they're better than, if they would have. If they go back in their 20s and done an extra job then, opposed to working now, if I have to just estimate, I think 80, 90% of those people will say, man, I would have worked 3 jobs in my 20s and 30s, opposed to not having to work now.
Man, I think higher than that. I think 90% of them would have some type of money related remorses or
right?
Things that they regret. So man, this is FY Fly, a show about financial literacy, which is not only understanding how to budget your money, but being able to save and grow your money effectively and efficiently. So our listeners want to know, man, give us a good money habit that you do, and then give us one bad money habit that we can cut off and avoid.
That's a good one. Good money habit I do. I have automatic contributions to my Roth IRA weekly.
Big shout out to that Roth. Come on now.
And it's not like a ton of money either, but it's weekly. It's consistent. So, and if I have a better week, an above average week, and I have extra money, you know what I could do? Throw more money in there. But I have an automatic contribution taken out of my account to my Roth IRA because I do not want to be 60 and 70 and having to go look for a job.
Come on, man.
I'm not knocking anybody, but I do not want to have to do that. Okay, so that's one. Bad money habit. I order food out too much.
Oh man, that's a lot. That's a lot of people.
It's ridiculous. I order food out too much. So hopefully I'll be married in a year or so. So that will alleviate a lot of that. But I order food out too much, and that's one of my bad money habits.
Okay. So let's talk about because that's a problem for almost everybody listening. Yeah. Like, how can we decrease or minimum? I don't see us stopping it. You know what I'm saying? But how can we decrease? Yeah. Okay, bet. So how can we decrease or minimize that issue for a lot of people listening? Yo, are you ready to hit your next level? Do you want to increase your drive, destiny, and dollars? Well, if so, check out my new book, From College to COVID, 24 Lessons Learned During the Lockdown, where I've compiled 5 of the biggest lessons I learned going from college to COVID to starting my financial literacy empire, FY Fly, plus 19 lessons from your favorite entrepreneurs, entertainers, and athletes that have been featured on our show. There's literally something for everyone. So purchase your copy today at fyfly.com/From College to COVID. Let's go.
Look at your bank statements, look at your net worth, and look and see if you would have. Okay, let's say this. Okay, 7 days in a week. Let's say you order out 5 of those days. Let's say that you could have invested $200 of those dollars into Roth IRA, 401k, stocks, etc. Look at even a conservative number that if you would have conservative ROI on that money for 3 months, what would that money have done for you? Then look at what you ate and what that did for you. So we could even say this. You could say, I like this amount, so I'm going to cook, or I'm going to do food prep or some cheaper way to eat 3 days a week,
Yeah.
3 to 4 days a week. That's it, guaranteed those days. And for the other days, I'm doing what I want. But have structured days where you're not going to touch the app, where you're not going to do that stuff, and you just want yourself to not go past it. I think if you can look at the
Most
numbers
definitely.
and see the difference in where your money went, it could help you stay home more and cook more, hit that kitchen.
Yeah, that's self-awareness, because a lot of people just aren't aware of how much money they really, really spend, and if they seen it, then they'll be like, "Oh, man, that's you know
Yeah,
what I'm
and freaking
saying?"
Uber Eats now, they send you a notification about how much money you saved. I'm like, yeah, I see it. It's right next to how much money I spent. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
I love it, man. I love it, man. So I got a few more questions for
Yep.
you, man. Wait, before we get back, I need you to tap in on that Roth IRA, because that is one of the most fundamental accounts that is not well known about, because we mainly know about the 401k because we have, little jobs here and there,
Yep.
and we, those are the employee sponsored accounts that were given to us. So talk a little bit more about that Roth IRA, and even knowing like the government know that joint so hard. Ain't it crazy how the Roth IRA max is like 6,000 and the 401k is like 19,000?
Wow. It's wild. So the Roth IRA, so I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't even consider myself a financial expert per se. But here's what I know. I know the Roth
Mhm.
IRA, from what I've seen, is almost a surefire way for you to have a comfortable retirement if you start investing in it early enough. These numbers are a
Yes,
little
sir.
bit fuzzy, but bear with me here. So if you're 16 or so, 16 years old, you put $3,000 in a Roth IRA. By the time you are 59 and a half, that same 3,000 will be worth around 120 to $160,000. That
Okay.
same $3,000,
Uh-huh.
right? I don't know many things that can do that.
For
So,
sure.
for all the people I know who have a high net worth, the high majority of them, they just put the money in the Roth IRA, they forget about it, and they'll cash out it on a later date. And there are ways you can pull it out with a minimal penalty, I believe, if you're going to buy your first property and things like that. So the
Uh-huh.
money is still accessible in an emergency, which could be good or bad, depending on how you look at it. But it is still accessible if
Yeah.
you need it. But it's just a surefire way to make sure that you have give yourself the best chance of a comfortable retirement, which
Most definitely.
is tough for people in their 20s to look at it, because I was 20. I know how it is, but I have a friend who his thing was the Roth. His thing was 401k because he's always been a good career person. But man, he got a couple of mil in there
Yeah.
now, and he's
Just
38,
chilling.
couple of $1 million, $38, 38, couple $1 million in your 401k. So
Hmm.
as far away as retirement and being 40 and 50 and 60 look, so I'm at a weird place because I can remember 20 and I can see 60. So I'm right
Uh,
there in the middle. And I was like, damn.
yeah.
So for anyone listening, please do something safe that will allow you to have a comfortable way to not work long term. Please, $10 here, $20 there, but just do something.
Automated was one of the biggest things that you said, in my opinion, how
Yeah.
you automate that investing, and you letting the technology do the work for you.
Whew.
You don't have to remember to do it, and it's just automated. I feel like that's the best way. Okay, so man, let's chop it up about a little bit about analysis paralysis.
Mhm.
And for those who really don't know what it is, it's basically when you study and you've learned all of the information in your certain field or certain area, but you still haven't jumped off the porch yet and got active.
Yeah.
So why do you think that is? And then give my audience some tips to actually overcome analysis paralysis.
It's enough paralysis when you think too damn much, man. You just think.
Yeah.
You think thinking gets it done. Life and business ain't college. It ain't high school, fam. Like this is different. This is you get rewarded by doing stuff. So here's what you do.
Hmm.
You have three ideas. You have the 5 streams of income. You chop those things down. Most times,
Hmm.
people who have not started, they have too many ideas. You chop it down. You say, I'm going to go all in on one, maybe two of these things for the next 6 months. I'm not going to touch those
Okay.
other things for the next 6 months or until I get a certain level of mastery underneath my belt. Then you can go back and look at those things. But that's where you're going to start. You're just going to chop down
Hmm.
your list of ideas. And
So now you're not overwhelmed. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Being mentally
Hmm.
overwhelmed is tiring. Like it's literally physically tiring, which is why
For
in
sure.
my business now, I was talking to my manager today. I was like, I'm not going to this meeting. Here's what I want you to do.
Chill out,
I'm not going. Like, you're going to go. So,
yeah.
And for some people,
boss things.
And for some people, they might say, well, don't you need to be there? Like, no, I don't need to be there anymore. I need people to assume responsibility, and she's more than qualified, so I need to let her be free. Go run it. You go run it.
For sure.
You go do it. So less things gives up a time frame. You wrote a book, right? So let's say that I was talking to you, I was your coach, and I said, okay, we need to sell 20 books a week. So you need to go on Instagram Live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays and sell the book, read the book, promote the book, talk about the book, tell people to hit you up right now to buy the book. Same thing on YouTube. So give yourself times, deadlines, and time periods where you got to get it done. So not after work this week. No, it's Thursday It's Thursday 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Being specific,
we're working.
Intentional. Yes,
Eastern Standard Time is on the East Coast. Get it as detailed as you can with the time frame and what you're going to work on it. 45 minutes of consistent, focused action 3 to 4 days a week generally can set people apart, but they won't do it.
Y'all heard that? 45 minutes, 3 to 5 days a week. Lock in, man, and you can accomplish your goals.
3 to 4 days a week. 5 is a bonus. You do 5, you got it. 4 days a week, it works. Yeah.
Most definitely. I feel like that's how I've even, accelerated into what I'm doing so fast, because I've just graduated, from college during 2020, during COVID, you know what I mean? And I was thinking about this today, like all of the information that I feel like I've soaked up, when I think about it, I'm interviewing the guests, and then I'm going back and I'm editing that, and then I'm writing about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing it and I'm getting it in different type of, learning modules or learning methods. So definitely, you're going to have to put that work in. But once you got it, go jump. Like, go make your play, because you should be confident because you've done the actual work.
And how many experience can you get from the podcast? Let's not even say it right now.
A multitude.
Right, but once you get this thing really cranking and popping, you can get sponsorships. You can get you can teach people how to podcast and get paid from that.
Yeah,
so somebody should do it, but none of those things are going to come until you put the upfront work in. Once the upfront work is done, it's on. But will you put the upfront work in? That's the key.
And I feel like that's what really separates people. Yeah. That's what needs to be done to separate people. You know what I mean? Because everybody's, when there's a lot, just like speaking of like basketball and football, you know what I mean? Everybody played basketball, football coming up. But what really separates people is those different levels. Are you still going to put in the work in middle school? Are you still going to put in the work in high school? Are you still going to put in the work in college? And then when you get to the league where you want to be, now you still got to put in the work to be the starter.
And I have a coach. Yeah. And I have
Come on now.
Not just the church, the team coach, your own personal coach, to get your body where you got to be, get your mind where you got to be. Successful people, when they get the money, they hire the best trainers, man. Business, physical, everything. They hire the best people once they got the money.
100%. I like that, man. Thank you so much for dropping all these gems on my FY Fly folks, man. Please let them know where to reach you. Any final words? Go ahead.
Man, if you're watching this podcast, you're in the right place. So stay here, subscribe, give a 5-star review. Check me out, Andre C. Hatchett on Instagram, Andre C. Hatchett on YouTube. And here to help, here to learn, and go buy my book on Amazon, Andre C. Hatchett.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for tuning in with us. Make sure y'all tap back in next Friday. And I'm going to need everyone to stay safe, stay invested, and stay FY Fly. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you all for listening to FY Fly, the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week for more financial literacy insights with our special guests. Please visit our website, social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYI Fly Podcast. That's FYI FLI Podcast. See y'all next week and stay fly.